Hello everyone, welcome back to Aussie Starcraft as we bring you some more Heart of the Swarm action. Top right hand corner it is EG's Demuslim. The bottom left hand corner it is our blue Protoss player Wannabecool. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with Wannabecool, he's a Korean American gamer, a very good Protoss player in his own right. In the top right hand corner obviously Demuslim, a lot of people very familiar with him, streams a lot. Both these players actually stream a fair bit. I'm going to pop the links for those down below, so go and check out their streams. Quite fun and funny to watch. I always get a bit of a kick out of Demuslim's stream, and certainly Demuslim gets cast quite a bit, but I think that's because of just the dynamic play. Is very fond of his Marine Marauder Mine play, and particularly the PvZ games. PvZ, the TvZ games he plays have been quite fun and amusing to watch. So always interested to see how he plays and what tricks and taps we can actually learn off him. But looks like Wannabecool is going to live up to his name here. Actually going to be expanding, well, actually building his gateway and pylon inside Demuslim's base here. Certainly an interesting choice. Generally not my first choice as a Protoss player, but Wannabecool showing us how it's done here. Surprised he's going for the gateway actually. The pylon, I guess if the pylon's taken out he can rebuild it quite quickly, but Wannabecool going to throw down a second gateway beside this. The Muslim here mining with half his workers, but using the rest to try and work these down as quick as possible. The danger here, as soon as the gateway completes, you can chrono boost that zealot out, and the zealot will now be on his way. So we'll see how Demuslim handles this, and having watched Demuslim stream, he does have some quite nifty tricks for dealing with these sorts of shenanigans. We'll see if Wannabe has his number or whether Demuslim can force him out of the base. That gateway is so close to going down, but the zealot's going to pop out and be absolutely terrifying. These poor SCVs just working their little hearts out, but the zealot runs up. Oh, the gateway just goes down. This poor SCV takes a side blade to the servo motor and runs for cover. Probably the luckiest SCV alive. Second zealot potentially on the way now. This zealot is in the mineral line. There are marines here. The SCV is going to be tanking for these marines. These SCVs doing a great job. There's so many orange health units here, it's insane. Two of them finally go down to the zealot, and the second marine is now out. This poor probe just zapping away at the supply depot, exercise infertility. Probe does go down, so Demuslim's going to be in a position to try and shut this down now. No other probes on the way, so Wannabecool having to establish some gateways back at his own base, and this game may resume a slightly more normal pattern. Have two more marines out, so there are now four. The zealot is going to unfortunately face the firing squad of these marines and miniguns. Nice micro from Demuslim, unfortunately slipping. That marine does go down, but other marines are going to get taken out. Another zealot may just make it out. This pylon's so close to going down, it's going to be raced to the finish line. Which goes down first? The zealot does come out right as the pylon goes down, and decides it's going to streak for home. Discretion's the better part of valor, as that zealot makes it out and says, I'm all out of dodge, and just books it for the ramp. Minigunner's going to be working their way through the gateway. Always a nice way to put your opponent on the back foot, going for the gateway side his base, but Demuslim just very handling that quite decisively. We'll see who actually managed to come out ahead there. Is 650 resource lost for our Protoss player, so the loss of those buildings certainly going to be felt for our Protoss player. The gateway and cyber core are down now for Wannabecool. He was careful to establish that cyber core before losing his other gateways. It's very important. Have these marines moving out now. A few more marines behind it, so Demuslim obviously keen to counterattack here. He did lose a few workers, well, only two actually, which was quite impressive. I thought he'd lost a few more tanking with the SCVs when he had to pull them off the line, but did a great job of moving those guys around and ensuring that each of them only took 2 hits. A Stalker now out for Wannabecool, and the Mothership Core is going to make it. Oh, nice time warp there is going to allow the Stalker to kite back and forth, but Demuslim not moving backward at all, just going to power forward and going to take down that Mothership Core. So important. There's going to be no photon overcharge here to defend with, and Wannabecool is going to be forced to spend another 100 gas to grab another Mothership Core, or potentially just go for the Oracle. So dangerous position to be in now for Wannabecool. No mothership core is going to be vulnerable to the 10 or 11 minute push that's coming. Could get a mothership core out ahead. It's actually expanding without the core as well, so very bold choice. Wannabecool breaking out all the stops here, playing as greedy as can be. A few Marines going to be moving out now. Stalker's actually aggressive as anything. Stalker and Zealot going to be putting on a bit more pressure at the main of Demuslim. But Demuslim positioned here at the top of the firing squad is, as a firing squad at the top of the round is certainly not the site this Zealot wants to be greedy with. He's going to hack down one of the Marines, but the rest of these Marines are going to take the Zealot out. One Zealot for one Marine, certainly a trade that you'd want to make. Plenty of Marines on the way now. Stimpack also on the way. And this is the dangerous position Wannabecool is going to be in. Mothership core is back out. There's only going to be energy for the one photon overcharge, as opposed to if he'd kept it alive earlier, would have had energy for two. And I think that's going to factor into the type of push that Demuslim elects to go for. We can see his starport coming now, which is quite quick given the relative delay in the start of this game. Have a factory coming out with a factory on it. Oh, sorry, factory with a reactor, sorry. Plenty of Marines in the mineral line going to scare this Oracle away, almost managing to kill it, but unfortunately it just slipped away there. We may see a Viking first, but I think what we're going to see from Demuslim is this starport is going to go down in the reactor. The reason for it is he wants the medevacs. He can push into this base knowing that Wannabecool's only source of defense is a potential photon overcharge and a sprinkling of units. He's seen the Stargate. He's killed the units earlier, knows there's not a lot of production, very limited defense for Wannabecool, and only one photon overcharge. I think we're going to see Demuslim push the front door, and as soon as that photon overcharge is dropped, we're going to see him pick up in the medevacs, go for the main. We're going to see Wannabecool in a lot of trouble, but we'll see if indeed that's the case, or whether Wannabecool's got a few more tricks up his sleeve. Certainly showing us he's got a few tricks to pull. Stargate's going to drop these first two medevacs. We've got straight Marines. Combat shield is now on the way. We've got two medevacs full of Marines, so 16 Marines, but unfortunately there's actually no defense. Well, actually, missed that missile turret glaring up at me from the middle of the line. Going to force that Oracle back. But he can be cheeky. He's got the shield, so he's got a little bit of buffer. He's going to kill those Marines. He could potentially play back and forward on these reactors, but I think Wannabecool's a little bit more focused on these medevacs that his observer caught moving out. Sentries here are realising just how much trouble they're in. The Marines are doing their little daisy chain unload. Sentry's going to go straight down here. Few Zealots going to charge up the ramp. Demuslim's going to kite backwards. Will he get into the medevacs? No, actually going to commit forward. Actually going straight for the mothership core. Forces the photon overcharge out. And look, the main base now exposed. All there is the two Zealots and Marines pull back. So photon overcharge down. The mothership core likewise down. On its way again, but very limited in what it can do. I think the Oracle did in fact go down there. Is it still in the field? No, it did go down during those engagements. So nice play from Demuslim there, just trying to pick apart Wannabecool's defense, but Wannabecool just remarkably managing to hold the line with surprisingly few units. Demuslim though relentless with these Marines, kiting back and forward. Another Zealot valiantly gives his life, but Demuslim's still on one base. Wannabecool's just ploughing forward here, so going to be a significant economic advantage for Wannabecool if Demuslim can't manage to crack this open. It's 2 base to 1. Have we got the CC on the way? It is, but it's going to be well behind Wannabecool at this point. He's got this second base almost ideally saturated here. 9 of what should be about 16 workers. And first Colossi on the way, second one right behind it. So this is going to put interesting pressure on Demuslim. He's holding this off with one base. More barracks are going down. Lots of Marines, but you got to ask yourself, are Marines really what you want against a pair of extended thermal lance Colossi? I think the answer is going to be no. Reactor is in play though. We could see some Vikings, so on the one base, going to be hard to support what is now 5 barracks and a starport. Demuslim going to be stimming, going to have to watch those. You'll end up too low health. There are some medevacs, but not so many that you want to just be stimming for a cross-country jog. Wannabecool here, first Colossal in play, second on the way, third one actually being chrono boost behind it. This is starting to look just a little bit terrifying. And these 13 odd Marines bold as just strolling forward across the map. it doesn't mind that there's more medevacs than there are Marines. A little bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Quite a high Marine to medevac ratio, but the real question is, does it really matter? The medevacs can heal, but not when they're dead. And these Colossi certainly gonna be able to do a lot of damage. Nice drop. Actually managing to sneak around the back. Wannabecool warping a few zealots into the turret. Photon overcharge going to be picking away at these. I actually had a Phoenix in place. If this Phoenix going to be in a position to harass the medevacs, can arch its way around. This Phoenix just going to be able to chase down the medevacs across the map. Going to be dropping Marines to deal with this. Phoenix does go down, which is unfortunate, but the Colossi just walk straight down the ramp and roast a few Marines. So let's look at the unit cannon station. It's 3 Colossi and an Immortal, backed up by a few Zealots and Sentry, compared to what is 5 Marauders and 13 Marines. So the unit count starting to climb for Demuslim, which is nice. A few Mules going down, going to supplement that income nicely. But these Colossi, what's terrifying at the moment. Zealot legs coming down now, so those Zealots are going to be charging forward with a fury. And first Vikings now on the way. So this is the start of what Demuslim needs. He's relentless. He's remarkably aggressive, given that he's 20 supply down and out teched by Wannabecool. Wannabecool really needs to exploit this window. He's got it. His +1 attack's almost finished up. I think that's the only weapon. No, Demuslim's got 1-1. So Demuslim with the upgrade advantage, but Wannabecool has got the tech advantage, got the units. There's no Vikings on the field. First 2 only just coming out. Ideally he wants to engage this and do some damage now, but Demuslim just going greed mode. Third base is thrown down. Demuslim's parked his factory here, so that expansion won't be going down for the next minute or so. Muslim going to be working down the factory, actually going down remarkably quickly with those Colossi in play. Phoenix going to finish it off, and expansion going down for himself. The massive Doom drop is swinging around. There's a few photon cannons here, so Wannabecool not afraid to drop some static defense here. Actually going to be unloading into the face of this, but Demuslim going to fly straight over, unloading his units. His cannon's going to be buying some time. Is there a photon overcharge to go down? Where is that mothership core? Mothership core nowhere in sight. Photon overcharge still not going down. These Phoenix actually cleverly going to ensure that these units cannot back out. Demuslim is committed to this attack. Colossi safely behind the other units, going to be just burning away at this Marine Marauder line. Photon overcharge does go down, but Demuslim's going to be able to move from base to base. Phoenix do get the medevac does go down, second medevac, and the third. Every medevac's going to go down. These poor units are going to drop behind the mineral line. There's dire straits for Demuslim. He's got three Vikings on the field at a time and the Marauder, but this Protoss Death Ball is terrifying. 120 supply to 81. Looks like Wannabecool's got the opportunity he wants. Needs to move out now to capitalize. Phoenix Colossi, always an interesting composition, but remarkably effective, particularly against Terran. Things like the Phoenix to drop down, to cut down those drops. Great choices. Those cannons buying him the timing. That was a potentially devastating Doom drop. Could have taken that Nexus before the army got in play, but the cannons bought the time. These 5 Vikings are a nice start, but I just feel like it's not going to be enough to do the damage needed. The heavy Marauder composition can't threaten the Vikings. Vikings are able to push these, the Phoenix able to push the Vikings right back. 4 Colossi just marching their way forward, and the Muslim is in dire straits here, so great play out of Wannabecool. 4 Colossi just so terrifying. 6 kills, 7 kills, 3 kills, 5 kills. This Protoss army absolutely devastating at the moment. Why is he pulling back? Wannabecool, go forward, go forward. He's got Demuslim on the ropes. Doesn't need to give him any more time. And a lot of players do this. They psych themselves out. They're in a great position to push, but it's one of those times when you've got to realize what could my opponent have, as Day 9 would say. What are the options at the moment? He's just thrown away a lot of forces in a big Doom drop that didn't do a lot of damage. How much more could he possibly have, given he was on a 1-base economy? And Demuslim going to pull his SCVs. He knows this is the last stand of his army. SCVs are out. There's a few Marauders trying to do the damage. SCVs just a little bit too late to the fight. Vikings taking down the Colossus. We are down to 2 Colossus. There's a lot of Stalkers still here fighting their way through. Vikings almost gone down. There's 5 left. A few Marines and a few Marauders. The Vikings do manage to take out the last Colossus. That's going to give these Marines and Marauders an opportunity to try and make their stand here. Vikings landing for extra DPS. 2 Vikings didn't get the memo apparently. Unfortunately, they must have been move commanded before they were able to execute that. That's a common thing we'll talk about after this battle's over. Marines and Marauders actually managing to chew their way through the last few of these Protoss units, so it's actually 2 base to 3 bases. This game's still not over. Demuslim managing to hold against all odds. Got Templar now on the field here, and this decent transition given the amount of Vikings that are on the field. But once you kill all your opponent's Vikings, you've got to remember, don't be afraid to produce a few more Colossi. This Mothership Core's in position, plenty of energy to drop some Photon Overcharge. A few Marines and Marauders going to pick off a unit there by the Watchtower. Is there enough energy for Storm? Storm's just finished up here. A few more Zealots coming now. It's going to be an Archon and a few Zealots. Going to be all that it is to hold this off. Photon Overcharge is going to be able to stall these units forward. They know they need to take this third base. 3 base to 2. Oh, Storm goes down there. Demuslim kiting nicely around that. Feedback on the medevac is going to slow that down. There will be no more healing for these Marauders. The Stim and Kite very dangerous, except for when all the medevacs are down. So these Phoenix can be chased, and Demuslim GG's out of the game. So excellent game there out of both these players. Just fantastic back and forth. One from the early gateways in his opponent's base through to the back and forth at the end of the game. Just what a great game from both these players. Another great PvT, another awesome matchup on Yeonsu. One of the reasons I love this map, produces just so many dynamic games. But great Phoenix Colossi play out of Wannabecool. So happy that we picked this game to cast. Hope you guys enjoyed it like I did. By all means, please subscribe if you haven't to the channel already. Look forward to seeing you again in more casts. We have more great StarCraft action coming up after the break. So, oh, almost forgot those Vikings. A common problem that a lot of StarCraft 2 players have is they, well, shift queuing, very effective, but they shift queue their units to move and then try to execute a second command. For example, the Vikings land, or the Swarm Host Burrow is another common one that it comes up. So what happens is the unit move here, and then the Vikings go to land, and the third and fourth Viking, because they couldn't actually land, they were trying to move to another spot. Demuslim thought everything had landed and went to move command again. So very common, you often see it with the Swarm Hosts. You move and burrow and then attack, and a few of your Swarm Hosts get pushed further forwards, or a few of them don't burrow and then walk to their death. So it's one of those things you just got to be careful of. Often better to just move, stop, and then execute the command rather than shift queue it. But you get a little bit of that. Demuslim managing to land them in time and get them in position. But just what a recovery from Wannabecool. Awesome game from both these players. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you all in next cast. Thanks, guys.